Welcome to The Girl Herd,
where we talk Texas football.
and a bunch of takes you've probably already heard.
But not from us.
Welcome back to another episode of The Girl Herd. We just completed Fan Day. 2 days ago?
No, it was exciting because we didn't have one last year. So I think it was just good energy all around and super ironic that a lot of friends that I was talking to about Fan Day were preparing for the weather and the heat, only for the Texas weather to give us the last bits of winter. I know a lot of people who were out there said they were actually chilly, which when does that ever really happen at DKR?
Never. And didn't it rain towards the end or something? I feel like rain started coming down. So couldn't have been better.
I don't know. I heard that it actually held out. So it probably did eventually, but sadly we weren't there. But I did hear that it was nice to have a Texas game day in the cold and not be sweating. So
yeah, right. And if it's not obvious, we of course weren't in attendance. We were all booked with other things, and myself in particular, I was actually a bridesmaid in a Nigerian wedding, and I think it's hilarious because people were texting me about Fan Day, and I really wanted to be there. And I remember when CDC mentioned it during the town hall, and I was like, dang it, usually we're talking about these fall as well. The one Fan Day, the one spring game we have, scrimmage, whatever you want to call it, I have a conflict. So we were not in attendance, and that was really sad. And so I was scrolling Twitter like I would on any game day, though, and it was really to see people in their outfits and people being really festive. So I immediately caught FOMO, and I was talking to you about it, Michelle. So I know you felt the same way.
I know. I had a pre-trip planned, and I was like, can I get out of this? What can we do? What are the options here? I don't want to miss this. We didn't have one last year. I want to be able to, we had a Fan Day, but we didn't get to see the guys at all. And so I was like, I want to go. I want to participate now that they're bringing this back. But of course it didn't work out. Things didn't happen for multiple reasons. But yes, definitely was watching everything. And it just, of course, gave me more FOMO, but I live on FOMO. So shocking.
I know it's funny. I posted a video from 2 years ago when we got to meet CDC at the last spring game that we had. And everybody's like, oh my gosh, we're so sad we didn't see you. I was like, no. This is old footage. We were not there, but super pumped. It makes me that much more excited for the first game and for season to start. And I think that even the fans, we saw glimpses of the line, of people waiting for autographs or waiting for pictures, and just how excited people are about this team, which we've talked about before, right? Potentially going to be number one ranked team again, but the energy just feels different. It's like we keep hearing about all of the depth in so many different positions, and honestly, this is what we've been waiting for. I feel like it's all coming to a culmination of now we have all these extra games. We have the 9 games in SEC, 16 game schedule. We have to have that depth if we really want to, hang another banner in DKR.
Hang another banner. Yeah. Cool.
In true Michelle fashion, I was just talking about the 9 game SEC thing for this year. And as you always are, Michelle, I'm very torn, actually. I'm never really torn. I have strong opinions about everything, and I'm very direct about everything I feel. But, of course, we've talked about it. We didn't do so good after our bye weeks last week. So in that respect, it's like, okay, whatever, cool. We're just going to bust through the conference. But on the other side, it's all this Big Ten dominance and all these things that are happening for them. And it's just, you have to believe that we beat ourselves up in this really awesome sports conference, football, but other sports too. And once you get to the tournament time, single elimination, we're beat up. And you're seeing the Big Ten win these national championships. They just did in football, and they just did in men's basketball. And that's the big question that I have, what's going to be the effect in terms of postseason for us after all of that?
Yeah, we said this last year. We were like, look at our, again, pay attention to strength of schedule, and we wouldn't be so worried about this. But no, the beating up, the injuries, all of that is part of it. And what happens with schedules in general, our last few games are no joke. So we'll end the season that way as well. But yeah, how will this impact us? What will happen? And we've talked about this before. We could go down so many rabbit holes of does this mean SEC will be like, F it, we're going to like try a different playoff natty situation? Like, yeah, are we beating ourselves up by doing this? But are you saying you're torn because you're like, also these are exciting games and we want more games in the SEC? Like,
oh, no, I'm torn because of the bye thing. Like, we just didn't do well with the break. So it's mostly that, although I am really excited for our schedule. And I think it's going to be a lot of mental mindset that we need to build up on the player side to get through it. Because like you mentioned, like, it's a tough November. But then the flip side of that is you want that to be your toughest football because then you're ready for the postseason, right? And so you want that to be when you're playing your best ball, but also when you're playing the best talent. And so, I mean, you're right. There's just so many different ways we could spin this. I don't think we're getting away from the number one preseason convo. I think that's going to be a big thing as the weeks start to progress towards season. And I think the big thing is honestly, I don't know what type of like motto or taglines the team is building, but embracing all of that, I think is what they should do because they're totally ready for it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, what are you going to do about it now? We've talked about this. What are you going to do about being number one? Like, we're going to have it or we're not. And if we do, like, let's own up to it. Go out there and freaking act like a number one team and stop putting on the break. I feel like that's one thing I'm looking forward to this season too, is last season, I feel like once we got ahead, we kind of let off the gas instead of just continuing full throttling teams and blowing them out. And that's what I really hope to see. Like, we have had a lot of our key guys out for spring, and hopefully they are just getting the rest and the recovery and all the things that they need to really go the longevity of the season.
Yeah, like, I mean, that's what makes me excited about Fan Day too, right? Like, it's spring now, we're post, like, we're that much closer to like actually getting to football. Of course, there's a few things that we need people to get better. We need people to like get in and for cohesion and that sort of thing too before week one, please. We want that time. It's, you know, you're always like racing against time, but agreed. Some of the Inside Texas guys were talking about this too. Coach Dub, Connor, and Eric were talking about how, like, are we really going to do all gas, no brakes this year? How is that going to go? Like, we saw it last year, we would get ahead and then we'd kind of like lay off a little bit, and we didn't have, you know, there were some games where some teams came back that like shouldn't have necessarily. So it will be interesting. But I mean, if this defense, from everything I read about Fan Day, if they showed anything, I'm not sure they're going to take their foots off the gas.
Yeah, I like this villain era of defense. They keep talking about like the Inside Texas guy, where our defense is going to be a problem for other offenses, for other quarterbacks, for other receivers. And that to me is so, because yes, offensive side of the ball is exciting. Can I speak today? You're scoring touchdowns, right? Everybody loves to see it. But on the defensive side of the ball, when we're getting sacks, when we're holding people at the line of scrimmage, when we're getting turnovers of the ball, that is just as exciting to me, if not more, than scoring the touchdowns.
I love what Arch said about himself over the past week. He was like, I hated how I played at the beginning of the season. It's like, okay, good, because he addressed it within himself and he's speaking on it. And that means you're ready to like put that to bed and kind of be this person who was playing the way that he was at the end of last season. And then I haven't been able to watch any of the clips. I don't know if you all have seen them, but Cooper's been speaking a lot about like how he was pouring into his son last season and getting him through everything. And just, I mean, it's really awesome to see their relationship. I'm excited to see him at the games again this year, but I'm excited to see him see his son after going through what was a challenging year for him.
Yeah, same. There was also some talk about how Arch, of course, wasn't playing in some part of the Fan Day, and how he like read the defense and kind of called it out to KJ, which I like. I mean, I love this. We've talked about this as well. Like, yes, of course, we'd rather him be playing. We'd rather him be getting in these reps. But ultimately, there's also things obviously he's learning and doing now that are benefiting him. And I think that's only going to make him better. And now he has that, like, as we've talked about, that drive to make this season the season as well.
Yeah, the mental reps just keep loading for him. I feel like he's never missing a beat. Like, even from behind the quarterbacks that are playing, he's, like you said, hey, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this? And I also love, too, that they had mentioned from Fan Day that defense was like Muschamp was not holding back on this offense.
yeah.
And so Sark really had to start scheming. I'm like, yes, I love that they're doing this for each other in practice. It's like he's going up against Kirby every day in a practice. And I think that's only going to be better for them and exercise or let him flex what he really can do on offense.
Yeah, that's why I was saying he's gonna be all gas, no brakes, or he's gonna, I guess you could say he's gonna put the brakes on the offensive. Like, He was like, yeah, you don't have your whole O line, you don't have all of your star players.
I don't
care. Which is also good though for like, again, like Arch, the other player. Like, it's good for them to watch this too, and it's good for our, everyone to be up against this kind of defense. So,
I think the unspoken, like, yes, it's good. Like, it's awesome that Muschamp is doing that. And like Angie mentioned, this battle. And yes, of course, that's awesome. I think the unspoken part of like everything that has to do with that is the fact that Coach Muschamp has the confidence that maybe our last defensive coordinator didn't have to essentially challenge your boss and head coach. Muschamp don't care. Like, he's already been all the way around the mulberry bush when it comes to coaching. And I think awesome. Yeah, the mulberry bush. I mean, all around the mulberry bush. What is a mulberry anyway?
I don't know.
This, but I grew up hearing all around the mulberry bush. So that's where Muschamp has been in my head. And what that does when you do go around the mulberry bush is it just makes you relaxed. And you need that looseness. You need to be relaxed. You need to kind of like not care. And when you don't care is when you actually succeed. So the fact that he's doing this and like busting heads and going at Sark, like, yes, 100%. And I don't think that's something that was really in the building before. And we talked a lot about Sark and calling his own plays and just everything last year that was going on there. And like, we talked about this because it's like, well, who is his person that can give him feedback? Like, who is that person? It's probably Muschamp now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Like, I like reading these things and seeing all these things too. I was like, I feel like Muschamp was playing a game. He was like, all right, we're in front of a crowd. Now let's see. You want to play this? Let's play this. He's back. He's got to prove a little something too. And he's like, let's go. Like, these guys need to really be driving home the new scheme that we're doing. And which I like. And I mean, I think Sark likes it too, right? Like, then he had to pull out some other cards. He had to play some like, don't you want that now? I want that now.
Yeah. I feel like he's like, y'all are not about to talk bad about me, right? Like, I'm going to come show you. But like you said, Devin, his other person now, and I think he doesn't have to worry as much about the defense this year, like with the trust he has in Muschamp and how Muschamp is running this defense to be extremely physical. That's what Sark wants. And I think that maybe a little bit last year, some of his attention was also having to go onto the defensive side of the ball and taking away from what he can do as far as calling plays and just being distracted, right? So I feel like this is going to be a new little era of Sark that we're seeing.
I mean, you can see a little pep in his step. Like, I think for sure we're seeing a new era.
They say hire people that are smarter than you. They say hire people that are better than you or fill in the strengths that you don't have. And I think that's kind of what we're in store for in the fall. So I can't wait.
Same.
We're almost there.
I know. Can't wait. Countdown.
Less than 150 days. It's wild.
Very.